Hello, I'm Dave Marsh, the Spyguy, and this is my co-host Warhound Actual, and we have want to talk about the news that's going on because nothing really big or important happened this weekend. Nothing at all.
Yes, nothing of import whatsoever. It just, the Europeans are just, only paying double what they were for natural gas, the amount of people that are absolutely getting boofed right now
Mhm.
in terms of either one eating warheads to foreheads or the people who are getting their assets destroyed. Have you heard the rumor about the six CIA agents getting whacked in the UAE?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, there's a rumor going around about that. So I'm interested to see what that rumor ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's being very. It's been a very interesting past 48 hours, and I'm loving every second of it.
Okay.
Now, um, to qualify a couple things, one, a lot of people seem to be thinking like, "Oh, this is just another forever war." Have you people not been paying attention to the past 6 months? Like, we dip in, we dip out, we dip in, we dip out. Like, we same fucking pattern, same fucking ordeal across the board every time. For some reason, you people are so I call them trauma babies for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and it's funny too because you know it's a bunch of libertarian women and a bunch of third worldists. And it's like, curious. Very curious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect you know, ladies and gentlemen, just let me to inform you. If you're a mid or high status man or female, please know that a bunch of low status motherfuckers are wanting you to suffer. They want you to be under the threat and under the knife at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do not want their assets over in Iran to be bombed. They don't want their assets to be removed in Venezuela. They don't want their assets across the board being touched because they want you under the knife at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is. At the end of the day, that's what this is we are getting rid of assets that these people do not want us getting rid of, and that's why they're freaking out as much as they are.
Mm-hmm.
um Now, I did see this funny little meme that mostly peaceful memes.
Yeah.
Muslim countries are split on their support for war against Iran. Pro Saudi Arabia, UAE; against UK and France.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I saw that. I dropped that one in one of my other discords, and yeah, there's certainly that definitely came across Tom's feed. That's where I found it.
Well, here's the thing: is the again the majority of and the messaging is starting to get through. By the way, the fact that the UK and France and the EU as a whole are the ones that are most staunchly against this, and all of the libertarians are playing right into it.
Mm-hmm.
If you identify as a libertarian at this point in time, I'm like, okay, so you're a loyalist. Got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, libertarians is nothing more than the city of London and psyop.
Well, yeah, that's what the French Revolution was.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, no, we're starting to see the breakthrough um of the narrative. Unfortunately, the problem is that it's still going to take a little bit of time. Now, oh my god, sorry, my sinuses. Give me a split second.
Mm-hmm. Dumbest. Yeah, reading some of my X feed while you were gone. It is actually interesting. Matt Walsh's take. It's been pretty good. Uh,
Matt Walsh. You mean the guy that's starting, and funny enough about Matt Walsh is I
mm,
think what is happening with him is that he's a 2016er,
mhm.
that he's a 16er that does not want to be associated with the 16er crowd at this point in time.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's trying desperately to get outside of that bubble, because if he doesn't, then he's going to forever be associated with the 16er crowd, and
Mm,
he is fucked.
mm,
So Yeah, no, it's speaking of the 16er crowd, did you see the whole Bannon and Jack Posobiec show with Eric Prince?
No, I have not seen that one.
Oh yeah, apparently they had Eric Prince on War Room, and I was laughing quite a bit at that because I'm like, oh, is that why you're fucking up so bad in Haiti? You're part of this crowd. Got
Mm.
it.
Mhm.
Got it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there you go.
Yep. No, that's a whole situation there. I generally don't watch Bannon much at all, so
Oh no, dude, I almost forget that he exists until he comes up at some point in time in my feed.
yeah. I had to kept telling people yesterday about the Epstein. I'm like, look, Epstein, the young underage thing was just Epstein. It's none of the other people. All the normal guys wanted to have sex with 20-year-olds, like most people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I had to point that out to a buddy of mine. He was railing about Bill Gates. I'm like, you do realize that Bill Gates did nothing but sleep with hookers, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Blah 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 blah. He was sleeping with kids, and it's like, no, he wasn't. He slept with two Russian hookers, and one of them gave him chlamydia.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
sure he slept with more Russian hookers over the years, but
oh yes, of course, but
yeah.
it's like he's got a thing for Russian hookers. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And he got banned from Epstein's parties because of how annoying he was. Like when Epstein himself admits that he banned him because of how annoying Bill Gates is. That's how much of a nerd Bill Gates is.
Yeah, right. Well, I've heard. I've never watched the deposition that they take in the antitrust legislation, but I heard that he comes off as a total lizard person.
Well,
Mm.
again, the whole meme about lizard people and whatnot. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, what it truly means is that they're too much of a nerd that you can't distinguish them from a Star Trek character. As I'm handed a baby.
Yeah, no problem. No, what is it? Cat turd going off against Stephen King and sort of like Donald Trump refused to get out of the war before he didn't serve in the Vietnam. That's terrible. And then it's like Cat turd's like, so how did Stephen King avoid the draft? Same reason.
Yeah,
No,
and
sorry, he got flat feet, and Donald Trump had bone spurs.
what's funny though is about that situation is that across the board, what we do know about Donald Trump is that he was actually slated to go into the army, and all of a sudden the bone spurs thing came out. I will point out that if you look at it, his scores in PT were actually pretty fucking solid across the board
Oh
during
yeah,
his
he's
academy days.
been in military school for 4 years. Of course, he's been pretty good.
Well, my whole thing is that personally, I take that as he was being groomed for leadership anyways,
Yeah,
and they were like, oh hey, you're not allowed to go in because Vietnam's a fucking shit show. We're not risking you,
yeah,
and he got pulled.
yeah. They could have easily had him serve in NATO somewhere.
Maybe, but at the same time, they're again, risking putting him in that situation, him dying in an unfortunate training accident is probably not a good
Hmm.
way to conduct yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
um,
I was watching someone ask Kariaku what Steve Bannon is. Is just a spy? And it's like, well, he doesn't really fit the profile. And it's like, he's Office of Naval Intelligence, obviously.
yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. He's an intel guy across the board, like period in a story. Um, as Tom Luongo put it, is like take the name off of the resume and just look at the resume.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, he's an intel guy through and through.
Yeah. It's
Um,
not CIA or.
well, I say this as a kid that comes from a family of from the family of a CIA spook.
Mhm.
You know when they're fucking CIA because they don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Like again, I love to tell this little story. The only reason why my great uncle knew that his mom, my great grandmother, was a was a spook was because he accidentally walked in while she was in his headquarters
Mm.
after he got back from a patrol, and he was going to his commanding officer to give his report, and he just saw the silhouette from behind, and he fucking did an about face and backed the fuck out as quickly as he could
Mhm.
because he's like, wait a minute, I know who that is. I should not be here.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is she here?
Mhm.
But yeah, no, CIA guys, they don't talk about this shit like at all. You know,
Nope.
that's how you know a good good CIA dude from a bad one is that, you know, the good ones don't talk about this shit.
Yeah.
And
And if they,
I mean good at their jobs, by the way. Not that they're good people. I mean good at their
Mhm.
jobs.
You know, I belong to this like I've gone to several military industrial complexes for wargaming, and they say you can always tell who the CIA guys are because they always put down on their job form State Department, not what branch, just says State Department.
Yeah, no, that is, well, yeah, of course. You know, that's one of the ways to mask. Because, you know, what's better than a CIA operative, an
Mhm.
ambassador.
Yeah,
Like, sorry, like that's why they watch ambassadors the way they do whenever they're overseas, because it's like, is this guy a spook, or is he actually an ambassador?
yeah,
um Notice how we don't have many spooks in ambassadorships right now, funny enough.
yeah. No, it's more the traditional, you know, patronage.
Yes, it's odd. It's like, it's been a while since we've had this.
Mhm.
um but yeah, no, we've reached a point, in my opinion, with our conflict resolution skills when it
Mhm.
comes to the Trump admin. Our conflict resolution skills are quite high, in my opinion,
Mhm.
because again, we've, you know, in this operation so far, so in terms of Venezuela, let's start with Venezuela. So the first round of things in Venezuela, I guess technically you could start back in Iran one with the 12-day war, but we came in at the end and just finished the situation. We don't know what the Israeli casualties were like because they never reported their casualties properly.
Right.
Um, our casualties in terms of Venezuela, we know about 8 all total,
Mhm.
and no deaths at all. No
Yeah.
deaths at all. Just 8 injuries.
Mhm.
Hell, one of them ended up getting a Medal of Honor at the State of the Union.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the to this operation, we now know, okay, we've got at least a handful of injured and 3 dead.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, seems reasonable, especially because the 3 dead seem to be from, you know, warheads being able to bypass defense systems on bases.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, you know, we haven't seemed to have suffered any air losses, minus, you know, the fiasco that happened over Kuwait. Apparently,
Mhm.
I haven't been able to fully confirm that situation to begin with.
Mhm.
Some of the videos and whatnot that are coming out from it, I'm just like, okay, these look weird. Like, maybe it's just like the time of day or whatever, but they kind of look weird to me. So I haven't sat down to study them or anything. Um, but it's like, okay, so apparently we had a fiasco with some friendly fire from Kuwaiti air defense, which, you know, to be frank, it can and will happen at any given time. It's not something that, like, for some reason people think that this isn't a thing. I don't know why.
Mhm.
But it is a thing. You know, there's a reason why the Russians, they don't put their planes up in front of their air defense when their air defense needs to be working, and they send the planes afterwards. There's a
Yeah.
reason why they do it the way they do it. I don't understand why this is a big controversial thing, but whatever. Um, but overall, you know, operation seems to be going off without a hitch.
Yep.
And by the way, the strike on the supposed school. First off, if that school was actually in session, that's kind of weird to me. But
Apparently, Iran is a Saturday, Sunday to Thursday schedule.
interesting. All right.
I think it probably has something to do with like Friday being like a day off for Abrahamic faiths.
Okay, I don't know. But all I know is that here's the thing I have with that is that the Iranian military, not the IRGC, by the way,
Mhm.
the Iranian military already came out and said, that was one of ours.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also video of it like going up and coming back down. It was a misfire on their part.
Yeah, which it's like, okay, that shit happens. First off, we've seen that plenty in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And the Iranians themselves, on their part, a lot of people are like, "Oh, look at this video. There's a bunch of Iranians protesting in support of the regime. Blah blah blah. There's no way that they're going to overthrow." And I'm like, it's real easy to fill a square with 20% of the population that supports the regime because they know they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why there was that big protest that came out in support of Maduro, because they knew they were safe. But then all of a sudden they got told, "Hey, you got to go home now. Thank you. Your permit has ran out. You need to go home." And then they were like, "Wait, what?" It's like, yeah, new management, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Get in line or get fucked up.
By the way, with this new program that I'm using, we're also streaming simultaneously to X.
Yeah, I did notice that. Mm-hmm. But no, the fact of the matter is that across the board, it's like, yeah, you can bitch and whine and cry about the protests in support of the regime and blah 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 blah, and it's like, yep, and even though there were a shit ton of people last month out raising hell against the regime,
mm-hmm.
some of the largest protests that Iran had ever seen. You think the civilian government didn't see that?
Yep, and we also saw lots of protests around the world in support of the attack. Like all these people thanking Donald Trump, and given the fact the Iranians are a very hardcore Democrat base, maybe that'll help out a little bit in the midterms.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's a simple fact that they're not aware that and again, I've seen it. I got into a bit of a spat with Clay Martin on X, where it's like, yo, bro, like, you're thinking very one dimensionally right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking very one dimensionally, and it's not my fault that you're thinking one dimensionally.
Yeah, I took down my green screen. I was finding it annoying. That's the only problem with this program. The green screen is not as effective as StreamYard was.
But no, the fact of the matter is that it's like, no, we're doing this. We're taking assets off the board of our enemies, and right now the UK is freaking out. France is freaking out because, one, they were trying to get in on the operation, per my understanding, and they got told to fuck off.
Oh, really?
Which tells
moving into the region.
Well, tells me on a personal level that the concern is that they're going to try to come in and do some hinky shit to try to spoil the fun for the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I will point out, everybody, now that we know that Israel, now that we have the reports, I should say, we haven't gotten any confirmation on this, but we have reports that Israel forced the timetable on this attack because Israel was going to go in, period, in a story, mm-hmm. which is typical, Israeli, negotiation. We're going to do it anyways. It's like, okay, fine. Guess what? You're now on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
And notice how they got saddled with hunting all the launchers.
Yeah.
Which then it's like, oh, okay, you want to do this? Fine. Cool. You get to go hunt all the launchers they're going to be launching at you. So best get to working, bud.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, I was on an interesting. I'm belonged on this group chat that went up to 2:00 this afternoon. Started after 11. It's a bunch of people from Two Way, the podcast. They have a fan site, Zoom call afterwards. So getting to hear from those guys is a very different perspective than what you get from all the people crashing out on X from the left or from the right. Most of the people there are baseline voters, and they are very supportive of what's going on here. And they're like, they're not freaking out as much as, unfortunately, the independents are. They're cautiously optimistic, which is what I am.
Well, again, the simple fact is, many people are attempting to, narrative control. That's what it comes down to, is
Right.
narrative control. And the problem is that all the narratives are falling apart in any way, shape, or form. Because again, like for example, I look at this video. First off, this video, um, okay, crap. Sorry, I have a phone call coming in. Give me a
Okay.
second.
No problem. Just watching, going through my X feed here. So, just in, Grand Standard Thomas Massey has allegedly received $2 million in donation from Democrat donors and PACs for the 25-26 election cycle. In fact, 79% of his Democrat donations come from Democrats. Yeah, and of course, Tom Woods is like, no, that's not true. I'm pretty sure, from what we can tell, it's all coming out of California. Razor fist, won't anyone think of the innocent F-14 Tomcats? I don't think. Okay, yeah. Cernovich just trying to speak truth to people, saying, "Hey, don't let the neocons win by being scared away." But I don't know how well that will go.
I apologize. I apologize about that.
That's okay.
When you
happen.
Well, it's hilarious to me when I call them like 3 weeks ago, and they're just now returning my call.
Yeah,
it's like I was so confused by it. I was like, what?
Hmm.
Like, why? What? It's been 3 weeks. Why would you bother calling? Anyways, but like looking, like I see, in my feed here, I see these videos like, oh, pro government rallies grow larger on the street of Tehran. And it's like, dude, first off, I'm looking at that crowd. This crowd is not that fucking large. It's not that fucking large whatsoever, because here's the thing, the bigger the crowd, and this is a little tactic for all of you who get really really annoyed by seeing these videos of oh, they're protesting and all this. The Tomcats are now officially extinct. Oh,
right.
sad days. Sad days. But you can tell by how few people are there based on particular angles that they're using. So if they're like for example, if they're on an elevated position looking down at the crowd and they're not trying to pan out and they're not using drones and whatnot, they're just using ground level footage. Generally speaking, that's indicative of a smaller crowd, that they don't want you to see the fact that it is a smaller crowd.
Yeah.
So that's.
Also, I just remember back in the German Democratic Republic, the communist leader, had a giant 20,000 person crowd rally before going to the election, and then the election, the communists get wiped out.
Yeah.
So how much of this is just like the regime's telling the party members to get out there in front and make sure there's a sizable crowd or not?
Well, look at the situation with the new Ayatollah. The new Ayatollah lasted 2 hours before he got bushwhacked.
Yeah. Oh, really? I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah. New guy comes in and gets fucking dropped instantly, basically. Which tells you the on-the-ground intelligence is absolutely peak.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. There's a lot of people selling out the IRGC in that country.
Oh, yeah. The proponents of this war insist that Iran is not Iraq. Fine, but Iran also isn't Venezuela. It's foolhardy to think you can just drop in, take out the top guy, and leave with no problem like we did in this case. Iran isn't Iraq, but it's much closer to Iraq than it is Venezuela. Here's the thing, is that there's a whole civilian government that has been cowed and controlled and beaten upside the head by the regime. And if you remove the ability of that regime to do what it's done to that civil authority, things can just continue going about as
Yeah,
they
we
are.
have not been seeing a lot of people. I keep seeing the foreign minister does it going out on TV. He does not seem to be going out in any kind of heavily protected bunker. He seems to be doing it from wherever the presidential palace is. Have we seen any hits on the presidential palace? Yeah.
I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. But yeah, no, it's just at this juncture, the more it's one of those things where it's like, oh, do you actually understand the situation that's at play rather than uh the actual situation, which by the way, you look at Thomas Massey. I just scrolled down. Congress must debate the objectives of war with Iran. First off, the president has 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, 60 days of war fighting capability, and past those 60 days, that's when Congress has to step in and actually decide if we're declaring war or not.
Yeah.
And repeatedly, Congress has completely and utterly dropped the ball for the past, how fucking long, and has not done it properly.
Yep.
Because Congress keeps throwing the power to the president to just unilaterally decide. But guess what, bitches? The Barbary pirates were a thing.
Yep. But I do recall I think the last time the Congress actually did its job properly was during the Libya operation, where the guys are like, Mr. President, we're more than happy to help you. We'll pass the war power. We'll authorize all these strikes. We have no problem with that. We just need you to ask us to do it. They passed the motion within a week. It's like, okay.
Yeah, well.
And that was a Republican Congress against President Obama.
Well, and that's the thing is that, at the end of the day, what we end up having as a result of the current situation is that Thomas Massey is sitting here, blah 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 blah, and it's like, Thomas, you're just mad. Actually, William, it's been longer than that. Remember, Congress authorized NATO forces, U.S. forces to NATO in regards to Korea. Korea was a NATO operation. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it was a UN operation.
Yes, sorry, UN. My bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, Thomas, you're trying to deflect away from your friends in Europe. We know who you work for.
Mm-hmm.
We know who you're trying to keep from getting exposed, because guess what? Again, if the rumor that 6 CIA agents got killed in that UAE strike, it almost confirms that, oh yeah, there's Iranian military guys on the ground that hit that building on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They got told, hey, we're gonna help you out, you need to help us out.
Yeah.
And that building got hit on purpose because those CIA guys needed to die.
Yep. I can find no confirmation of any strike on the Iranian civil president's location. It just seems to be all just nothing but Ayatollah Khomeini stuff.
It's like, oh, it's almost like the theocracy is being attacked, but the civil government is being left intact. I wonder why.
I know, it's so weird.
I wonder why.
Oh, here you go. PBS. Iran's new potential leadership suggests it's open to talks, and Trump is willing. So that was in the first 24 hours of the attack.
By the way, I will point out something in regards to that report. Mm-hmm. That was the president's office that sent that out. The new Ayatollah gets put into power, and then he gets bushwhacked.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out the trend here, people. It is not hard. This is not hard to fucking understand. If you can't understand it, then I'm going to assume that you're either 1, retarded, or 2, a willful freaking idiot in service of Europe. Congratulations if you're either. Mm-hmm.
And of course, why is the strait closed? They're not closed by the civilian government. They say we have no intention to do that. But the IRGC is the one sending out the messages. And then London conveniently cancels all the insurance contracts on all of the ships except for China and Iran's.
Yep. Funny how that works, right? Funny how that works. No, actually, funny enough. I'd heard an inkling of that previously. I was not aware if it actually had happened, but if you have confirmation of that, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah,
Because that's literally obfuscation through and through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, first, I know that for sure that according to this ANH report, it was IRGC who definitely said they were closing the Strait of Hormuz, and I believe Tom was talking about it in the market report. That that's where I got that information from. So,
by the way, I'm gonna point this out. Sal Macagliano with what's going on with shipping. Great fucking channel, by the way.
Yeah, I got recommended that earlier.
In response to Brian Sullivan over at CNBC, insurance is the key, Brian. I cannot recall any time when insurance companies just canceled war risk and ordered it to be reestablished. This marks a break between the US and UK, as the latter historically handles the negotiations with the P&I clubs. Which he's absolutely correct, 100%.
Yeah, if any of those companies out there want to, you can always call up Russia. They basically set up their own insurance industry in response to the sanctions.
Well, that's the thing, is that across the board, and I tell people this all the time, is that you be prepared in the coming months for the official, like, honestly speaking, it might happen in regards to this operation. Just be prepared for the break between the US and the UK. Just be prepared for it.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, real funny. So you know the island of Guernsey, right?
Oh yeah.
The posh of the posh. The trust.
Yeah, there was a great when 60 Minutes was still watchable when I was a teenager. They did a whole episode on Guernsey, and then of course I watched a documentary on the city of London from the 90s.
Well, here's the fun part about that is I got into a little bit of a tiff earlier with somebody on Twitter, and I looked at their location. Their location was Guernsey. And I'm like, oh, you hoity-toity motherfucker. You hoity-toity son of a bitch. It's like, yeah. In regards to also the situation in Cyprus, have you heard about those strikes?
Yes, and the British are doing combat air patrols and anti-drone patrols as a result.
Yes. Do we know what strikes happened in Cyprus? I have not gotten confirmation on what was hit.
I didn't look into where they were targeting, but they were definitely targeting the Royal Air Force Base there. Let me see here.
Oh, attacking the Royal Air Force directly?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yep. 2 drones intercepted heading for the raft base.
Ah. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we're attacking their assets in the region.
Mm-hmm. From the Guardian 3 hours ago. So yeah, thank you. Yep, Akronti Air Force Base was attacked, and then one got through. They were hit by Hezbollah. 2 more drones were successfully intercepted on Monday morning, the Cypriot authorities said. There were small, low-flying drones launched by Lebanese Hezbollah, and no formal. It was likely a Shahad-type drone, a relatively cheap Iranian design one-way attack vehicle.
Well, there you go. Again, I have the opinion that we are specifically attacking all their assets.
Mm-hmm.
We're going after them, and again, I agree with Tom on this. There was a deal that was flushed out, ready to go, right before the strikes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the blame is being laid on Israel, but I suspect a deal had already been made.
Everyone always blames Israel.
Yeah, well, it's easy too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I've got a baby acting like an
asshole. I know. It's fun background noise. It beats having Tom's dog around.
No, she woke up just a little bit ago and needs fed and everything, and she's like, I just want to play. Okay, hold on. Let me get the girlfriend, because yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Zelensky signs law allowing to evacuate children from potential combat zones without the parents' consent. More Ukrainian child trafficking.
I would like to just point out, like, that's a hilarious fucking law. Like, oh, hey, we're gonna bitch, whine, and cry about the Russians evacuating children, and then all of a sudden we're going to put in we're gonna put into law that we can evacuate children without the parents' consent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yep.
interesting.
Yep. Oh, and apparently President Ahmadinejad's team reached out to Patrick Bet David.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's according to him. He's telling Patrick he's still alive for some reason.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. One of the reasons why people think he became president is that he was one of the students inside the embassy. So when he came to power, that was that generation coming to power. Anyways, yeah, more news.
Oh my God.
It's interesting. Going through here. Just kind of getting some stuff from the X feed. All right. I believe or ban anyone with dual loyalty from elected offices. Kevin Sorbo, but yeah.
S&P 500 erases losses and gains for the day.
Okay.
That's fucking hilarious.
Mm.
I was actually looking for something in particular.
Okay. I'll just keep looking through the X feed for interesting things.
Yeah, no, I saw.
Definitely the B2. The one thing they will want from the British is, since they still technically have Diego Garcia, they are going to want that from them. And so they can land all the B2s and the B1 bombers there and use them instead of having to fly from Minot.
Well, of course.
Still looking. Oof. We're going to have the Ring of Fire Road completed 5 years ahead of schedule here. We're going to get to those gold mines faster than ever. Let's go. You have that.
Here we go.
Mhm.
So the reports being like, oh, the
Well, that's good to know that the Navy's dead.
oh
I didn't
yeah,
think that was going to take that long, though.
no, it was getting hit.
Yeah.
All through last night, so they absolutely annihilated it. But have you know? I just found it real quick. The Polymarket stuff in regards to this whole situation with the Strait of Hormuz and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this kind of, for me, on a personal level, is like, Europeans using the betting market as a way to do illicit money flows?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, think about it. It's like, they drop. It's now official. Trump has finished what Reagan started in the '80s. The Iranian Navy is no more. I like that.
Yep.
But the reason why I bring this up is because, you see this, like, okay, it starts off around like 50%, drops down to, mid-teens, climbs back up into the mid-30s, back down into the mid-teens, and then we get this massive shoot up to 70%, and then it drops back down below 40%.
Mm.
And it's like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all these different little situations, it's like, are the betting markets just a way for the Europeans to replace their illicit money trades?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why that I bring this up is because then it really starts leaning into, it's like, is there a leak, or are they just relying on stupid people? Because let's face it, there's only two types of people that
Mm-hmm.
that participate in the betting markets, and those are insiders and idiots.
Yeah.
So it's like, very interesting.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Oh yeah, it would not surprise me. It just took them out. That was going on, and that might have been the whole point of creating these betting markets in the first place. Certainly, given the fact that Kalshi is made by an Indian guy, I believe.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure it is. I think the CEO, who is Kalshi's CEO? Tarek Mansour and Luana Lopez Lara.
Wait, repeat those names?
Tarek Mansour is the CEO, and the CEO is Luana Lopez Lara. Key backers: Sequoia Capital, Y Combinator, Charles Schwab, Henry Cabris, and Peng Zhao of Citadel Securities.
So it's literally just Wall Street. That's funny.
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's literally just Wall Street. It's hilarious. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess it really is just a case of, idiots and insiders.
Yep, that's usually how it goes.
Oh, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. Marco, after telling him he's in charge of the London ship insurance market now.
Mhm. So what else is going on? We've just seen all the people crashing out over this kind of stuff is kind of ridiculous. A lot of doom, had to deal with a lot of dooming pilling in the last 24 or yesterday when I was on Barris's call.
Oh, John Conrad over at G Captain
Hmm.
made a post that I think would be interesting. I'll
Okay.
read this off real quick. I'll
Yep.
send it to you real fast. Since we don't have a side chat on here, I'll send it
We
to you
do.
on
It's in the
Discord.
bottom left corner.
Oh. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Sorry, I looked over at the right. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
We're so used to that being the way it works on screen.
Yeah, I'm used to Streamyard.
Mm.
So if you just want to pull that up real quick,
Yeah.
I'll read it off.
Green.
Ooh.
A little
All right.
better.
Yeah, that's better. This is potentially the biggest Iran story nobody is talking about. The global insurance market may be heading towards a systematic crisis. Here's why. Most people don't realize London isn't just a financial center, it is the center of global insurance. Lloyd's, which is one of the largest entities in the world, by the way,
Yeah.
underwrites around 40% of the world's marine cargo. Ship sinks, port gets bombed, canal gets blocked, the bill lands in London. This is why the UK punches above its weight, not the Royal Navy, not diplomacy, insurance. Control insurance, control trade. By the way, this is one of the mechanisms that the British used to throttle U.S. trade up until about circa 19 or 1815. By the way,
Yeah.
a little less so after that point, but Barbary Wars and everything. Control insurance, control trade, and London doesn't just control 90% of the global trade that moves by sea. Lloyd's in London and the London market are major insurers of almost everything: skyscrapers, factories, ports, satellites, entire supply chains. You can't participate in public markets or raise large amounts of capital without insurance. Now, the normal playbook for war risk is repricing, not cancellation. This is in regards to the fact that they canceled a shit ton of insurance for a lot of these ships, and that's why these ships are not moving in terms of the Strait of Hormuz. Canceling coverage entirely is a massive escalation in underwriting posture. It signals something beyond risk. It signals uncertainty so deep the underwriter can't even price it. The question everyone should be asking: why? Why not just jack up premiums and make a fortune off the crisis like they did in the Black Sea off Ukraine? To answer this, you have to understand why London has maintained a stranglehold on global insurance without losing nearly some market related to ships. The answer: better intelligence. It is no coincidence that MI6 headquarters sits directly across the Thames from the IMO HQ, the world's maritime shipping regulator, and a short distance from Lloyd's itself.
Let me scroll down a bit more.
Yep. I have no proof of a direct pipeline, but it has long been speculated in the industry that intelligence flows from MI6 to Lloyd's. Having the best intelligence in the world would be the single greatest competitive advantage any insurer could possess: the ability to price risk that competitors can only guess at. Here's the problem: the majority of MI6 intel doesn't come from its own agents. It comes from the Five Eyes, the alliance comprising the US, UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. And within Five Eyes, the dominant partner is obvious. The CIA, NSA, and NRO, etc., generate the lion's share of intel. So if Lloyd's pricing advantage flows from MI6 and the MI6 best intelligence flows from the US, what happens when the data pipeline gets throttled? All indications are that Keir Starmer was blindsided by the size and scope of the US-Israel strikes on Iran this weekend. That alone tells you that something about the current state of transatlantic intelligence sharing. And we know there has been a serious anger in Washington over the UK's decision to sell Diego Garcia, home to America's most strategically important base in the Indian Ocean, to
Mauritius.
Mauritius. That's how you say it, Mauritius.
Yeah.
It is not a huge leap to conclude that the submarine cables linking Langley to London have gone dark, or at minimum have been significantly throttled. What this means for the UK national security is the question for the Brits. But what it means for every company globally is globally that's insured through the London market has massive implications for the entire financial system. Because most large insurers worldwide don't do independent intelligence work. They index off of Lloyd's rates.
Yeah.
If you're insuring a skyscraper in Tokyo, a semiconductor fab in Taiwan, or a port in Argentina, you get a Lloyd's quote and then shop that price around. Other insurers see Lloyd's number and assume the diligence was done, they price accordingly. This means if London is suddenly flying blind, it's not just Lloyd's policyholders at risk, it's the entire global reinsurance chain. The cancellation of war risk coverage on ships isn't the crisis, it's the canary. If this hypothesis is correct, we could be looking at a systematic repricing event across global insurance markets, the kind of cascading uncertainty that defined 2008 and COVID. Watch Lloyd's, watch reinsurance prices or spreads. What Five Eyes, and that's where this story and possibly Wall Street breaks.
Wow. Yep. It all makes sense to me.
No, across the board, that absolutely is. That absolutely is. Yeah.
Trying to remember how to turn this thing off. Stop sharing. And there we go. Yeah. Hey.
Man down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fascinating the kinds of people you can follow next. I've been following that person for a while. Conrad last year when he pointed out that with the U.S. Over 27 U.S. Navy ships were fleet support ships that were run by the U.S. Merchant Marine were shut down because of lack of manpower, and that would have and what kind of effects that would have on the global. Americans' ability to do what they're currently doing in, say, a place like Iran, where I was much more concerned about at that time, of course, was Ukraine, and gotten some fights with some people about that. And they're like, no, we have all this capability. No, you don't. You've lost that capability. So. Yeah. And I got a nice one here from Patricia Merenz. We'll look at. Let me. Okay, so CENTCOM has reported acknowledging 3 fighter jets down in combat, yet appears inconsistent in attributing the losses to friendly fire. And it does seem like one of those friendly fires was Kuwait not recognizing which some idiot in the Kuwaitis Defense Department firing off rockets at U.S. jets. Like there's no one else is flying right now but your allies, dumbasses. But we're talking Arabs here, not the best.
Yeah.
When 3 aircraft are lost in a high-threat combat environment, the official narrative is rarely accepted as face value without scrutiny. Yeah, I was talking to one guy, and he said, I'm not going to comment on anything until at least 3 days have passed. Latest CENTCOM statement admits the involvement of Iranian fighter aircraft in the battle space, but some it says the 3 U.S. F-15 Strike Eagles were lost to friendly fire from Kuwaiti air defense systems. She doesn't think it holds up. a modern IFS system, including Mode 1, Mode 5. Well, I think Patricia, normally I agree with you, but I think in this case, I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that we're dealing with Arabs.
But
Mhm.
just capabilities,
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what to tell people when it comes down to it, especially given the fact that we have consistently seen different issues across the board when it comes to a lot of different things.
Mhm.
I understand people might be a little hesitant to be like, oh, we're going to just believe it, at face value. But at the same time, we're talking about a situation that, you've got so many munitions flying all over the place.
Mhm.
You have Kuwait, which, that airspace is tight. That AO is very tight. It's a small fucking country. It's not Iraq.
Yeah.
It's not Saudi Arabia. It's a very tight airspace that you're trying to defend. And so at the end of the day, it's like, what do you expect to happen when you have massive amounts of assets in the air and you're launching surface to air missiles?
Mhm.
To be completely frank, it could have been a case of one jet gets hit and then you have something like a strike,
Mhm.
like a debris strike. Most people don't imagine this as much. They don't think of this kind of stuff, but it's like, hey, you got these massive turbojets that are sucking air in. All of a sudden, a decent sized piece of debris gets sucked into an engine
Mhm.
intake, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that engine's gone.
Yep.
And mind you, if you're going full kilter on the throttle and one of your engines just instantly stops producing thrust, all of a sudden you get thrown into a spin. That looks like what might have happened with one of the jets, at least, was they got put into a spin from too much thrust on one side because they had an engine failure. And that does happen.
Mhm.
So there's a chance that only one plane got hit by friendly fire, but then as a consequence of that plane getting hit, a couple other planes ended up getting hit as well by debris.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's
So
yeah.
so I'm not saying people shouldn't look into shit more, but I'm saying like there is a possibility that that's exactly what fucking happened, because at the end of the day, like I'm gonna say this real quick, and this is funny because my buddy Will there in chat is going to understand this very easily. I played War Thunder.
Mhm.
They model the debris in the sky very well.
Hmm.
You can routinely, if you're chasing a dude and he explodes because he hit his fuel tank or you hit a bomb on his shit and he fucking explodes, you can hit his debris field and take
Mhm.
your own plane out very quickly if you're right on his ass.
Oh yeah. I can't tell you how many times that would happen to me in TIE Fighter.
Oh yeah, yeah, there you go. TIE Fighter, they also model it in.
Mhm.
So it's like, for some reason people think like just because something blows up, it's no longer no longer exists. It's like, no, like there's a reason why one of the first casualties of the operation was a civilian being killed by debris from one of the intercepted missiles.
Mhm.
So it's very likely, again, given given the given the fact that it is such a tight airspace, there's a chance debris took out the two of the planes.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that, yeah, friendly fire incidents fucking happen. Again, the Russians stopped putting their planes in front of their own AA because their own AA was shooting down their own planes because they were putting so many missiles up in the air.
Right.
So, when you have enough ordnance going up, you're going to have a friendly fire incident.
Yep.
Like, look at the situation with the Gettysburg. Look how easily they shot down two of our planes.
Yep.
And that was a full on IFF failure.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, shit can happen.
Oh yeah. And wouldn't it serve the narrative that, you know, if the Iranians had shot them down with planes or with rockets, I think it wouldn't matter. I think that serves the narrative just as well. I don't see any advantage for trying to make stuff up other than, to cover your ass.
Well, again, it's one of those things where, again, I'm just like, the idea that shit can't happen is really annoying to me. It's like, no, like, I'm gonna wait and see what happens with the reports, because again, they and let me say this right now, it could turn out to be exactly what I just laid out. One plane got hit by friendly fire, and then the debris took out two other planes because they were
Right.
flying in formation.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this right now, me and my guys, this is how much of nerds we are. We've done real, when we're playing simulator in War Thunder, we'll fly in formations because we're all trying to stay together as part of the simulator battles, because everything's modeled the way it is. There's no markers. So if you have planes that aren't your guys, and they, you see planes that aren't with your formation, you're like, okay, those are bad guys. Mm. And so it's like, you fly together to keep tabs on one another. Yeah. And we've had it happen where we're flying, say, a mission where we're bombing something, and one of our bombers takes a hit and he loses a wing and he collides with one of the other bombers in the formation. We've had that happen. Mm-hmm. And again, when you got a group of planes screaming along and all of a sudden debris gets sucked into fucking intakes and whatnot, it's like, again, I'm just saying, like, don't just write off everything because you're, hyper skeptical.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because again, like, I look at my guys and I tell them all the time, it's like, wait 48 hours. Mm-hmm. Like, the truth will be brought to bear in 48 hours. Period.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Steve Murray put it the best, personally. It used to be it took 60 years for a conspiracy theory to be proven correct. Then it got to the point where it took 6 years, and now it's down to 6 hours.
Yep, that seems to be the general consensus. But yeah, yeah, no. Just wait. So someone, my stepbrother, basically said to me once, "What do I think about what's going on in Ukraine?" And I'm like, I didn't want. He's married to a Ukrainian woman, so I kind of said, "You know what? Ask me in 6 months." I'm an historian. I just didn't want to get into an argument with him, and he kind of let it go from there. So we never talking about the Ukrainian war ever again. We just talk about Canadian national defense these days. I'm sure his father's, who does know my opinions, probably let him
know. Yeah, I actually, real quick, this is funny. So we've got a bunch of European accounts that are coming out of the woodwork, which now I'm really, like, looking at this and I'm laughing, because it's like, okay, yeah, no, the third wielders are definitely coming out in force. This dude posts a picture of an oil tanker, sinking. An oil tanker from the U.S. Navy Support Forces was destroyed in port of Bahrain. And then fucking Sal Macagliano comes in off the top rope and is like, no, it was not. Here's the news release from the company.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yep. It's just going to have all these people looking to get little clicks or bots from intel agencies and other nefarious factors trying to spread the misinformation out there.
It's usually how that fucking shit, how this shit works at this point in time. Unfortunately, but
Oh yeah. Here's something. Yeah, a guy in a guy I know from Rich Barris's group. He's running for Senate in Australia. He had to give up his U.S. citizenship. The exit fee for him cost him $250,000. To give up his U.S. citizenship because they don't allow people to have dual citizenship or run for political office in Australia.
Womp womp. I do have my own opinion of the whole dual citizen stuff, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking into getting my Polish citizenship, but because my family, I qualify through my grandmother, and definitely Poland is definitely pretty based compared to Canada. And the number one English language jobs in Poland are basically in my field, so that might be interesting too. But I just, like I said, I would like to get out of here and see some parts of the world I haven't been to before, and maybe this would be easier to start a business somewhere like that instead of here. Bunch of buy a half dozen Hiluxes and rent them out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love how that car is practically indestructible and not available to be bought in anywhere in the West.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, because everyone would be driving them. Like the fact that you can, Clarkson draw from his channel, they threw one off a cliff, flipped it over, and it started the engine. We have 6 simultaneous streamers going watching us right now. Jeez.
Currently, the only Canadian defense are a bunch of boomers with their elbows up.
Yeah. Oh my God, people are like gloating on me on the hockey thing, and I'm like, I didn't even bother watching the game. The only people I want to watch is let's clobber the Russians, and they weren't allowed to play.
Hey, I'm just pointing something out. Notice how all the narrative, like every bit of the narrative in regards to the Strait of Hormuz is literally, oh my God, it's closed down, it's closed, the Iranians closed it, and it's like, nope, Lloyd's canceled all the fucking insurance.
Right.
That's what fucking happened. I wonder if there's any indication that U.S. surface combatants are moving in to start escorting ships.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a thing. Yep, that's what basically Reagan did in the 80s when Iran started shooting at tankers leaving Iraq. He had them free flag all the ships to be American ships. Even worked with, even to the point the Soviets reflagged, and and they set up these interesting little, like, basically not man-portable, but man-made islands as for defense platforms. I really should find that article. It would probably, I read about it. Like, it's around here somewhere, but probably not the best time to look it all up. But yeah, that little war there, the tanker wars of the 80s are definitely something of a topic of mind right now.
I love all of the accounts that are posting Arma footage in relations to this whole situation.
Yeah, Arma footage is great. I remember that was like the Ghost of Kiev was Arma footage or something like that, wasn't it?
Oh God, don't get me fucking started. Don't get me fucking started. Oh God. No, the fucking, my favorite was the first round of shit with Iran, and all the like, oh, this is the American bases defending themselves against Iranian aircraft, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, motherfucker. Like, I've got over 3,000 hours in that series of games.
Yep.
I know that game very well. The only people you're convincing that is real life is a boomer. Only ones. Oh, actually, let's go see what if Warfronts has posted anything today. Just to see for the funsies. Now, Warfronts, they're like, first off, I'll say this right now, like, great way to research what the Europeans think. Go to Warfronts.
Yeah,
because you can figure out the European narrative and what narrative they want to push by just going and watching the shit. It's very obvious that this guy gets. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if this guy actually has a direct line to Chatham House, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
At all. It's also ironic that they're based in the Czech Republic. It's like, wonder why. All right, no, they haven't posted anything Iran related yet.
Okay, well, I gave you the ability to share now, so if you do find something interesting. And there's friend. Yeah, I might do that. I'm just typing off. Someone just emailed me something. Thanks. One of the retired Navy captain just messaged me, so it's like, oh crap, talk to him.
Oh, by the way, we're up to 6 KIA so far.
Yeah,
which again, all of these casualties are in ground facilities. Like,
yeah,
notice how all the casualties we sustained so far have been in ground facilities.
Right.
It's like, oh, interesting. Literally, it's exactly what we saw in the last war, where the only casualties that Israel took were on the ground.
Yep. Yeah, I keep getting these people telling me, "Oh, our capabilities are so amazing when we're all the Russian and Chinese stuff doesn't seem to be working." And I'm like, then how do you explain all of Ukraine if your stuff's so great?
Yeah, the baby is currently sitting in the high chair, and she's all smiles and everything. Hi, baby girl. Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, yeah, fun. Carrie, to honestly speaking, I think casualties are going to remain relatively low, comparatively speaking, because again, the Israelis, out of their massive area, relatively speaking, and with how dense their population is, they only suffered around 26 deaths.
Wow. Well, they have a lot of preparation going on, like property.
Yeah, but the point is that 26 deaths, more than likely, we'll see even less than that.
Yeah, Yeah, certainly your capabilities are proven pretty well there. I guess we're using all the best new stuff. And we will see if this is the first successful air campaign that gets a proper regime change. Technically, Yugoslavia sorta did. You got him. It didn't cause the regime to fall, but you got him to pull out of the disputed territories.
Yeah. Hey, give me 30 seconds. Let me listen to this real quick
Okay,
before I share it.
yeah, sure. What do we got here? That's a nice message from a guy I know. The right consume what they believe. The left are told what to believe. Trump in January. The problem with the NATO is that we'll be there for them 100%, but I'm not sure that they'd be there for us. Wasn't wrong, was he? Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So real quick, grab this, put this over here. So just share this real quick.
Yep. Anyways, continuing on. So Mike Pence is out there defending Donald Trump and the invasion. Imagine how that happens. Up on Piers Morgan right now, or streamed 47 minutes ago. So that's kind of interesting. Lots of people crashing out on X, of course.
So yeah. Very, very clearly the British are doing their level best to be like, oh no, we're totally not involved, even though we really, 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 really want to be involved.
Yeah. Well, like I would think this strike force would be better off not attacking Iran, but liberating the British from their masters.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that liberating Iran is also part of liberating the UK, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand that, but still.
Like with some outside pressure, there's no way for us to actually be able to knock out these people in general. Like we need to force them, we need to ring fence them. That's the term that I like to use. We need to ring fence them in London because they've tried desperately to move to Qatar. They're trying desperately because we boofed them on Hong Kong, we boofed them on Singapore. They were trying to move operations and assets to those two places, and then now they're trying to move resources and assets to Qatar. And we just need to ring fence them, and we need to keep them from moving to Qatar, because if they move to Qatar, then it's going to create problems for us.
Oh, yeah.
So, unfortunately,
keep going along here, seeing what's coming out of my X feed for you guys. The Alliance of Weak Men. Germany, France, and Britain have announced that they are ready to take defensive action against Iran. Nobody knows what that means because they don't have any planes in the area, and the U.S. doesn't need any help. Certainly not their help.
So we've got some Canadian douche nozzle. Because it says whenever something says North America, it's like, okay, that's Canadian. Uh, Iranian state media shares Iran did not attack the Ras Tanura oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. It was Israel.
Oh,
And it's
God.
like, okay, first off, Iranian state media. I doubt. I doubt. I doubt. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I doubt.
It's about as trustworthy as the BBC these days.
Okay, here's a quote. Here's a quote for you. The head of the Iranian Atomic Energy Organization, the Zionist entity in America, attacked the Natanz nuclear center in Isfahan twice on Sunday. Yes, probably. I would guess that we did.
Yep.
Because you were probably trying to fucking rebuild it.
Right. I heard definitely Democrats are coming out to support Trump in this, as opposed to some of the Republicans. And I haven't seen the look of Schumer's face, but I was told that he looked like he saw a ghost after his Gang of Eight briefing. So. Razor Fist is great. So someone goes, Iranians are the Latinos of the Middle East, and Nod says Persian chicks age better.
So the narrative shifting has occurred. So we're looking at an account, 41K followers. Let's see where it's based out of. It is based in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And why do I get the feeling that most of the accounts defending war with Iran are H-1B visa holders in a windowless room in the basement of Langley? And it's like, oh, that's the narrative we're going with now? That's the narrative we're going with? Oh, really? Really? Really?
Yeah. Straight out of freaking Homeland. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
Yes.
Yeah, the scene where they have the Alex Jones character has like a bunch of H-1B people or illegal aliens just shit posting on X and social media. Didn't they realize that it was all being done in Greece? Oh my God, Trump. Reporter, who takes over now that the supreme leader is dead? Trump. I don't know. I guess the position's open. I'm creating jobs in Iran too. Someone says Matt Walsh is nailing it. Unrelated, Matt is currently looking for future employment. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Our glorious Prime Minister, $100 billion of Canadian pension funds will be invested in India, as opposed to, Canada. Ursula von der Leyen's Twitter feed is indistinguishable from a parody account mocking European elites who have no power, no legitimacy, and no answers, yet never stop issuing vacuous statements. The best part is that she appears entirely unaware of this fact, pretty much. I could just do a whole Sark on the Cod this week in stupid based on von der Leyen or Callus's X feeds.
Oh, apparently some shit's going down in Lebanon. Apparently the president and PM are being backed by the clans, that there be no military or security arms outside of Lebanese state authority.
Hmm.
So Hezbollah is fucked.
Yeah. Yep. Even more so after the pager incident.
Jesus. Carrie, just to answer your question, no, that's Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Shaw Rubio, first prince of Iran.
Yeah, there's Shaw Rubio and there's Ayatollah Rubio. He's up for both positions at this moment.
So some of the memes for Marco Rubio in relation to this have been great.
Yeah.
There are now claims that that Israel is striking border positions along the border with Iraq and Iran, quote unquote, to open up the way for Kurdish militias. Doubt, but you know, it is what it is.
Yep. Well, here we go. I got. Just saw another nice post. Carolyn Levitt's actually saying what the war objectives are. Unlike now, I would think it would have been better to do what the HW did back in the 90s, where he had a little bit of the, like, going to Congress and the Senate to get people on board and educate people instead of just doing it out on press corps. But the objectives are here: destroy the Iranian regime's missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. Annihilate the Iranian regime's navy. Already checked off. Ensure the regime's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces. There's not many of those proxies left right now. Hezbollah is basically the only one left capable of doing anything. Stop them from making and using IEDs or roadside bombs. And that one's kind of like a WMD one. You just can't stop that. Guarantee that Iran can never attain a nuclear weapon. Preventing this radical regime and its terrorist leaders from threatening America and our core national security interest is clear-eyed and necessary objective. Killing terrorists is good for America. 49 of the most senior Iranian regime leaders, including Supreme Leader, have already been wiped off the face of the earth so far in the opening strikes of the Epic Fury. Finally, while Operation Midnight Hammer did obliterate Iran's major nuclear sites, the regime was fully committed to rebuilding their nuclear program, and they refused to make a deal despite months of extensive talks and good faith efforts by the team's top negotiators. And simply put, the Iranian regime will not say yes to peace. And the current side is for 47 years. So this war has been going on for 47 years. What there is the Trump agenda notes. That seems to be the narrative that I'm seeing coming out of the Trump world, is that we're just finishing off something that started 49 years ago with the hostages.
Yep. I just want to point out the Lulberts are going very very mask off with Thomas Massey in regards to the Democrats. It's kind of funny. Carrie, how long before the U.S. runs out of interceptor missiles? Frankly speaking, that doesn't even fucking matter, really.
Yeah, every time they pop up a launcher to fire off, and that seems to be the key here, is that every time they pop off the Iranians fire off a missile, it gets destroyed. The launcher, yeah. And So you might have tens of thousands of missiles, but you don't have tens of thousands of rocket launchers. And that's what seems to have been the key thing that people noticed after the 12 Days War. It's all well and good to have a giant stockpile of missiles, but if you can't fire them off, they're no good to anyone.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing: is that first and foremost, the idea that the interceptors, they're fired in packs of 2. You fire one and then you fire a second one. The first one is there to potentially shoot down the target. The other one is there to guarantee the shoot down. And as it stands, and I apologize for the baby, as it stands, it's like, we're just gonna keep doing the business. Like, at the end of the day, this idea that, we're just gonna run out of things, it's like, okay, how many interceptors do we have? Because you got to remember, there's multiple blocks of interceptors, and just because you're firing, X missile, it's like, okay, well, how many block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4? Right now we might be using a bunch of block 4s. Say we have 4 blocks. I'm just throwing arbitrary numbers out here because I don't know the exact metrics. We fire off a bunch of block 4s. Okay, we need to start using the block 3, so we fire off a bunch of block 3s, and then we start using the block 2s. Well, in theory, almost across the board, we have a shit ton of block 1s, block 2s, and block 3s in reserve, because the U.S. military is infamous for one thing, and that's not getting rid of shit. We keep shit as long as we fucking can, because it's like, no, that's just sound money practice at the end of the day. We don't do the whole replacing stuff habitually.
She wants to know what you're up to.
Oh, it's kind of like that Transnistria, where the Russians still have a garrison there because there's so much explosives that were lined there for.
Oh, the stockpile in Transnistria is fucking massive too.
Yeah,
like those bunkers. If the Ukrainians were to get a hold of that stuff, that's one of the key reasons why that garrison is so important for the Russians. If the Ukrainians were able to get into those bunkers and start, first off, the Russians would just annihilate the complex. They'd be like, we lost it. All right, cool. That sucks. Send the Orezhniks. Because they'll just annihilate the complex rather than.
I'm sure they got them all ready to explode themselves. The garrison probably has all the things ready to blow up on their own without even sending the Orezhniks.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Man switches and stuff like that.
Wouldn't be surprised. But no, that's the thing, is like, the U.S. military is notorious for keeping shit way longer than. There's a reason why we have bone fields out in the fucking Nevada desert the way we do. The same way the Russians have their fucking bone fields, so on and so forth. Any military worth its salt is going to have massive fucking stockpiles in general. The key thing is, and this is the more important thing, is launchers. Launchers are the key when it comes to the U.S. and to Iran. The Iranians are basically getting one launch off of each fucking launcher that they can, whereas our launchers, we might lose one or two, but as long as they're throwing missiles up to take shit down, well, at that point in time, an empty launcher is an empty launcher. If we lose it, we lose it. If we don't, we don't. And the launchers are truly the thing that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, look at this global thing. Iran possesses advanced naval drone capabilities that can pose a significant threat to tankers in the region. Then why haven't they shot any of them off? I mean, come on. In 48 hours, like, use them or lose them. Okay, what else we got here? Oh God, come on, do not put that in there. Hag says, don't mention a third temple will be rebuilt. But
What'd you say?
Oh, Pete Hegseth has been Trump's pick for defense secretary proclaimed his heartful belief that the third temple will be rebuilt in Jerusalem. Okay, yeah.
Well, okay, so he is a hardcore Jerusalem guy, so it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, that's
He
unfortunate.
literally has the cross of Jerusalem on his chest. So
Yeah.
um where does this statement that Iran campaign could last 4 weeks, where is this coming from?
I think it came from Trump himself.
Yeah, I haven't heard this.
Okay. Well,
Have not heard this at all.
yeah. Just looking it up. Al Jazeera 3 hours ago, Trump says Iran war projected to last 4 to 5 weeks, but could go longer because that's how it always
Al
goes.
Jazeera, you just
And The Guardian and New
okay.
York Times.
Where's the actual statement?
Mhm.
Because that's the problem is that if the Al Jazeera, The Guardian, EU through and through.
Oh, yeah. Speaking from on Monday from the White House, he outlined his administration's justification for going to war against Iran and grave threats to the U.S., even as he again claimed the U.S. strikes in Iran in June. Yeah, declaration of that. Yeah. So it does look like he said it, but I think he's also like basically hedging, which he always does. Like says he's no ground troops could be an option. They're not. There's no need for ground troops in this particular case, as we have previously discussed. I have not seen anyone hit any of the civilian government infrastructure. They just seem to be hitting IRGC targets because the IRGC controls all the long range weapons. The regular army is not trusted by the regime.
Well, and that's the thing is at the end of the day, what you end up having, and this is the key thing for me, is across the board you have a situation where you have the civil authority, you have the theocracy,
Mhm.
you have a clear defined split.
Mhm.
The same way how you had the clear defined split between the Cubans and the Venezuelans.
Right.
Why in God's green earth would you eliminate both parties when you know the civil authority can easily be detached from the theocracy, and thus the civil authority remains intact? All the people get to go about their day and do their thing and manage away.
Mhm.
And then, if anything, to be completely frank, the only troops that go in are advisors
Mhm.
that are there to help get the Iranian military itself back up to speed so it can act as a deterrent against any other bullshit from any other people.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
It's so laughable at this point in time to think that it's like, again, the whole narrative, like, oh, they're going to put ground troops. Yeah, in what way?
Mhm.
Are you talking about the ground pounders that are going to go in, the Green Berets and shit that are going to go in and fucking do the work of making sure the Iranian military is actually up for the task? That's a lot different than fucking putting Marines in there. But, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, just dealing with all the stuff going on in the world. Yeah, fact that we have not seen like Iranian foreign ministers able to go out on TV, no problems. Iranian presidential palace hasn't been hit, so it's like very reminiscent of what Russia was doing to Ukraine in the sense that they could kill Zelensky at any time, but why would you want? But then someone effective might get that job. And that thing about Tom's already commented on the Conrad piece. Yeah.
All right, hold on. I want to see.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Well, it's fun when New York Post is absolute. All right, so posted 1 p.m. Trump won't rule out sending U.S. troops into Iran if necessary. Tells the Post war is progressing way ahead of schedule. Hold on.
Well, in the meantime, Tom had a great tweet that I wanted to mention. Uncle Jamie is giving you the plot, folks. Unwinding of the EU begins now. JP Morgan says Iran escalation challenge is bearish dollar view. Recommends tactically unwinding Euro USD longs today. So to get your money out of Europe and back into the States.
All right, so I just actually want to point this out. Um, yeah, so this is the actual wording that New York Post is using. And they're supposedly quoting Trump.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I'm skeptical of any agency whatsoever. It's always been a 4-week process. We figured it'd be 4 weeks or so. It's always been about a 4-week process. So as strong as it is, it's a big country. It'll take 4 weeks or less.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, makes sense to me. Start operations continue for about a week, and then, after that you start doing the whole cleanup. But at the same time, again, no hard, like, again, I'm looking for, unless this is like a post over on Truth Social, which, hold on, let me see if I can let me see if I can find something over here.
Yeah. Good to see Aiden is who he's working for.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, Aiden, Ayden. Good to see he's really crashing out over this.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not surprised. I got into an argument with him a while back, and I was like, this is literally stupid position you're taking here, buddy.
Yeah.
So kind of figured out who he was after that. We'll see what's anyways.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any.
You're not seeing like a video, which you would think you would have, right?
Unless it's this one right here, which I don't think it is. Hold on, this is like a 6-minute video.
Oh God, Bolton's working for London. Not surprised.
But of course.
Promethean Action has Bolton says Trump has no strategy. And Chatham House says regime can't be done from the air. Well, not necessarily. Yes. The Prime Minister and UK Secretary of Defense keep repeating over and over again we were not involved in Iran. We didn't help the USA. They are terrified what their Muslim captors will do to them. Oh, another good one from John Conrad. As I said yesterday, the reason military operations have been going well is because we're no longer beholden to the myriad rules of engagement of our allies. Europeans always want to add rules and caveats and ongoing legal reviews that handcuff our warfighters. Pretty much. Well, at least Glenn Beck is on side. That's good to know. Well, we're starting to drift off here. I'm getting close to the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, unfortunately, the video, because I was trying to listen to this video, again, I don't know where this whole 4-week thing came from. Like, I've been looking for it, trying to find it, and the only people that are reporting it are New York Post, and it looks like everybody else who is reporting it got it from New York Post. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's like I have not been able to find anything in regards to that. So, I don't know.
Yep. No, well, it's been good streaming with you and having fun, and it's nice to have a good crowd on here to hang out and talk to us and give us ideas for the chat. So hopefully it's a sign of growth.
Yeah, well, hey, at the end of the day, I was like, nah, dude, like we need to bounce some things off of each other and might as well stream it because like this is heating up in a way that I was not expecting it to. Again, we streamed on Friday and you heard what I said. I didn't think we were gonna fucking do it, and then all of a sudden Saturday, it's like, oh shit, we did it.
Yep.
All right, well, fuck. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Mike did a show with Money Circus on Saturday, and that was kind of interesting. Turns out his father was literally an economic hitman. Who's responsible? One of the people responsible for causing the Biafran civil war in Nigeria.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah. He only found out after his father passed away.
Oh fuck! All right. Oh, that's kind of like with my grandmother. Like we didn't know she was a spook until after she fucking died, and my great uncle, like I get a call from him, and he's like, yeah, so there's I want to add some stories to the list I gave you already, and I'm like, okay. He apparently did not want me asking my grandmother any questions, and I was like, okay, well, there you go.
Yep.
Anyways, man, I'll
Okay.
talk to you later. You have a good one.
You too. I'm going to cook dinner soon, so that's
Yeah.
worked out perfect.
See you, bud.